don't forget to like and subscribe this video. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Your support means the world. If it wasn't for you guys, this channel would be nothing, and I would have no reason to find people like Daniel and Victor, Matt Smith, Vern Larson, Randy, Kenny, all these people to bring on, have a conversation with, and provide some type of value, not only for myself, but for you guys listening. So it's really not about me. I gain some benefit from it, but it's really about changing the world and you watching. So thank you so much. All right, what is up? Welcome back to episode 44 of the All In Show. And today, I usually bring on entrepreneurs, and that has been the route I've been going down. But I also want to bring like-minded individuals into the same room together to either pick each other's brains, talk about business, entrepreneurship, go into life experiences. Here on the All In Show, it's all about raw stories, real conversations, and we're going all in. Daniel, welcome back. I have a new guest here, Victor. I'm excited to have you, buddy, because nice you just started a new journey, and yeah, I'm excited to go into it. Yeah. So, how's everyone doing?
Been good, man. Just been busy. We'll get into it, but we're talking about how you and I have been collaborating and getting what we need to get done with business and my move in about a week, and just everything's good. And getting the pleasure to meet, a gentleman like this guy, Victor.
That's crazy. Hey, how's it going, guys? Nice to meet you. First of all, thank you, Xander, for inviting me.
Yep. Oh,
I just want to say that I've been watching your journey, and I'm really proud of you, bro. Keep it going. Please do not stop, because we need more people like you who are willing to go out of their way just to share the stories that this community has, because we have a lot of people who know a lot of things, and we have a lot of good stories, but we have a lot of good people in this community who deserve an opportunity to say, hey, I'm here from Pueblo, and I'm proud of being from Pueblo. I appreciate it, Daniel. Nice meeting you. With a couple minutes that we've been talking so far, man, it's crazy. I'm just excited because we're about to have a good conversation, and I just want this because in 10 years we're gonna look back, bro. You're not gonna see these kids no more, bro.
I know. I know. It's gonna be. We're gonna be 43. I don't even picture being 43. I see myself being a millionaire by the time I'm 26, 30, and I'm like, we're gonna look back on episode 44. And be like, yeah, we were just little guppies in the ocean swimming, learning how to, grow some legs, however tadpoles do their thing. But yeah, it's going to be exciting, but you got to love the journey and grind it out, because once you reach that point, you got to find another purpose to chase. And I don't know. I haven't reached that point in life yet, so I'm just loving the journey, but I don't want to hear any... I appreciate you, Victor. Thank you for saying those kind words, but I don't want to hear any glazing because I'm seeing what you're doing, and I appreciate and respect what you're doing. So it goes both ways. It's a two-way street right here. But yeah, no, thank you. It's crazy you bring that up, and I kind of got into a little rant on that. But I was talking with some coworkers today, and I was like, man, I can't wait until my bank account has this amount of money. I don't even say millionaire anymore because people look at me like I'm crazy, at least like from the outside looking in, as far as people who don't think on that level. And I asked them, I'm like, wouldn't it be nice to just like spend 3 days or a week in Brazil, the Virgin Islands, and just have fuck you money? And they're like, no. I'm like, wow, well, okay. All right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You guys ever have any experiences like that?
Yes.
Where you just talk about your big dreams as small-minded people?
Yes, a lot of times. And I've realized that a lot of people, especially even this Pueblo, for example, since we're here, they just think small-minded, They're just like, as long as I have food on the table, my family's taken care of, I have a little bit of money saved up, in case of an emergency, they're okay. But it goes into, life. Like, in order to get that fuck you money, you got to give up something, which most likely is your time and resources. And, you got to give up spending time with maybe your loved ones or realizing giving up sleep, whatever it is. So I think those people are okay with not striving to have fucking money, but they're okay, and I'll be honest, we'll get into this a little bit deeper, but you can't expect people to know where you're going, because not everybody's going to have the same mindset as you, and which is what makes you unique. You're bringing on all these individuals that, either are doing this, you're seeing how their results from their mindset has occurred, or you're getting individuals like us that have the mindset, but we're applying it now. And then you get this, like you said, 10 years from now, we'll say, man, like Daniel and Victor were at this stage in 2026, 2036, they're at this stage now. And what was one thing they had in common? They had the mindset. So, yeah.
Yeah, I like what Daniel said. A lot of people think that sometimes becoming a millionaire is flashy, that you wake up one day with $1 million. And I don't think when you really listen to people who became rich, their stories are not flashy. They either came from money, or they worked their asses off 90 hours a week just to get a little bit of money and reinvested it. Real money doesn't come from, just out of thin air. Lately, honestly, what I've been thinking is, what would you mind say if you had $1 million in your bank account? Because it's crazy. Like Xander said, you say $1 million and people look at you like, man, this kid, bro, he's just a dreamer, bro. But when you actually start thinking about it, you're like, I have $1 million in my bank account. What am I doing with that money? What's that psychological factor that's going to kick in? How am I going to feel? Am I going to be the same guy that I was freaking 10 years ago, the same humble guy? Or is $1 million right away going to switch me because I have all this security, all this power? And so when I started thinking about that, it almost feels like you start attracting it. I don't know if you guys believe in the laws of powers and everything.
Law of attraction.
Yeah, you have to believe in something before it comes reality, True. So you start believing, like, what am I going to do with the $1 million right here? Because you seen $1 million cash. It's really not a lot. You can put it in a pack, like you can put it in a bag. It's really not a lot of cash. You can hold it right here. So then you gotta make that real. So yeah, it's crazy mindset. And like he said, we'll look back 10 years from now and say, well, hopefully you didn't give up. I hope we didn't give up. Because if you did, I didn't have no reason to give up, even though I have plenty of reasons to give up right now. But I hope you didn't. So, yeah, shout out to all of us in the future.
No, that's real shit, man. It's law of attraction goes a long way, man. And the concept of money isn't taught in school, number one. So you're not set up to be financially prepared for the real world. You don't really run into people who think on that level or have that mindset on money unless you actually pursue it. There's so much that goes into it, but I think changing your perspective on it, but also wanting it, it goes so deep. But behind the camera, what do you think about money?
I'm still stuck on you guys talking about, like, if you don't believe it, keep dreaming it anyway. In women terms, we call it manifesting, so it goes the same way on both genders. As far as money, I agree with not feeling like with your education that you can't learn about financials and stuff like that. So that's a pretty big one.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. I think what you guys are saying, the educational part, they really do lack that in schools. And I wasn't raised here. Like, I didn't go to school here in the United States. I went to school in Mexico, in Guanajuato. From León. Shout out to León, Guanajuato. And it's just a different education system, So once you realize what really involves investing money, because when you learn that investing money is putting $5 aside every week so it can compound and make something in the future, who's gonna buy that story from you? Who's gonna be like, yeah, bro, I'm putting these $20 onto this stock? Like, it's really not how it works, bro. Like this, like I don't know. I feel like we just got into a super consumerist society where it's just gimme right now, gimme right now. And so we lack the work. And right now, what I've been learning with thank you for bringing that up. What I've been doing with my business is that it takes a long time. Like, I'm probably not going to see a lot of money in 2, 3, 4 years, but I hope that in 10 years, it's going to be a lot of money. Because
no, fuck that. You're going to see profit in the next 6 months.
Oh, God hears you, bro. I hope he
Because
hears
it will happen. I don't know
yeah.
if it's just me being optimistically aggressive and just believing that it's gonna fucking work out no matter what. But the amount of work that we're putting into this and how we're getting there, yeah, we can leave it in God's hands. I mean, at the end of the day, God sure does have power over if we succeed or fail. But you know what else has power over if you succeed or fail? If you put the work in and actually be aggressive towards it and take action. So I've lived by the motto. I wouldn't even say it's a motto, but I guess a philosophy, to put it into this term, for the past 2 months, that I didn't think I was going to get to where I'm at today. Crazy enough, 9 months ago. But I knew it was going to take me in some way, shape, or form, in some direction. And after a few months passed, and all the work I've been putting in has been kind of growing, and I'm seeing like what skill set is in demand and what works, what doesn't work, everything that goes behind it. I'm like, oh fuck, wow, this is happening sooner than I expected. And now it's just like rolling with the punches and figuring it out along the way. It's like constantly putting out fires every single day, metaphorically though, in a good way though, not in a bad way. It's like fun, but once you hit that point, I wouldn't say you're ever prepared to actually take on the struggles head on, but you damn well better be prepared for getting back what you've been asking for, because it's going to hit you and it's going to come at you quicker than you think it will. And you're going to be like, oh fuck, now I have 6 people I got to go and do junk removal within the next 2 or 3 days. And I'm just one person. So now you're like, well, how do I scale this? Well, now I got to hire people, and now you're hiring people. And bro, it's gonna happen a lot quicker than you think. You just got to believe and keep putting in the work. But yeah, little rant. I don't think thinking about becoming a millionaire is selfish in my eyes, just because I didn't grow up that way. I grew up in a household where we lived paycheck to paycheck. We struggled. Like, I'm building this from the ground up. So to have the vision of like, one day I'm going to be in a situation where I don't have to worry about Black Hills shutting off my power. I don't have to worry about the Board of Waterworks shutting off my water, or Excel shutting off my gas. I can be like, oh, that's on auto pay. We're good, baby. We're good. Yeah. All these things that I have worried about, I won't worry about in the future. But also comes more responsibility. And that's what I'm getting at, is you better be prepared for the responsibility that you're going to have to take on, because it's going to hit you like a fucking train. And you're going to have to buckle up and hop on that train while it's going 80 miles per hour. And you don't know where the fuck this train's stopping. You're just on for the ride. I can go into a huge rant, but just one of the thoughts that runs through my head constantly. And that's what I wanted to share with you, Victor.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it, bro. It moves me. It's crazy because, yeah, you're right. You're right. I think I just hold myself back because, I don't know, we come from Hispanics. Hispanics don't move. I told my mom the other day, I'm like, Mom, I'm fully booked next week. And her reaction was like, "Qué bueno, mijo. That's good." Like, that's it. Like, I was like, that's it. I struggled with school. I went to school like 3-4 times. I always dropped out. I never found what I wanted. And then to find something that you're passionate, because junk removal, what we do, for everybody that we don't know, I own Pueblo Junk Heroes.
Tell them.
Pueblo Junk Heroes is a specialized junk removal. Also, we do improvement in properties. My bad. It's a long thing. I'm just still trying to nail it down. But what we really do is help the community. We're a specialized team to remove any type of junk. A lot of the times we see a pile of just trash, leaves stacking up, and we think, oh, one of these days I'll get rid of it. And that day just never comes, and it keeps on stacking and stacking until you don't have any more space. That's where we come in. We're a team specialized in removing things hassle-free. Today I cleaned some window wells. That's a new service that we're adding. I was down there. I can't even tell how many spiders I counted, bro. I had spiders going up and down. And I was just praying I didn't get bit, bro, because one of these days it's going to be a black widow, and I don't know if I'm going to tell the story, bro. But, hey, honestly, I do it because at first, look, I'm gonna tell you how it started. I cleaned my mom's yard, bro, and after seeing that reaction of, oh my god, I can do all this, all that, it clicked to me. We're not just here to haul trash and make a buck out of it. I'm here to give my client an opportunity to renew a space, to take advantage of their yard, go outside, enjoy the sun, and start being more active, you know. So, and one thing that I learned is that a lot of us will do our own yard work. You don't have to pay a whole landscaping business. I'm sorry, landscapers. I'm not trying to get at you, but I'm not trying to pay for your diesel and dump trailer every time you come and mow my yard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I can do it. I can pile it to the side. I pay my guy that is coming every 2-3 weeks. He picks it up. 30 minutes, we're gone. So I think I'm just, like you said, dialing down the systems. I do see the bigger vision. I can see myself in 30 years owning the recycling center that I'm planning on, because junk removal goes beyond just trash. I think what I really love about trash and what the United States has to offer that Mexico doesn't is that a lot of people will throw stuff away that they have still value in it. So a lot of organizations are nonprofit that will rehome people, families that get relocated and stuff. So my mission is to try to just find a way so I can get all these products that people are just dumping, finding a way to reuse them and give them to somebody who needs them, you know. I forgot the word right now, but
Reduce, reuse,
and
recycle.
and recycle, man.
However,
Refurbish.
There you go.
Yeah,
refurbish
refurbish,
it.
yeah.
Refurbish it. Beautiful. Thank you, man.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's going to be a long journey. It's going to be a lot of learning, like you said, a lot of responsibility. You just said everything I've been thinking, but I don't want to say out loud, bro.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Your why is super important, you know. And how long did you live in Mexico for? When did you move to the States?
Dude, I was raised in Mexico, bro. So I was born in Springs. I'm not illegal. Chill, don't call ICE. You can't call ICE on me. I got papers, bro. I was born in Springs even. You know, I'm not even from Pueblo. I'm from Springs. So, anyways.
You hear that, Ice?
I'm a Springs baby. Hey, yes, no, I'm
No.
just kidding. Nah, but we moved to Mexico when I was 4. So pretty much elementary, first grade, a little bit of middle school. I moved back when I was 14. My English comes from playing Xbox. I used to play Call of Duty a lot. So all the kids on Call of Duty. Yes, sir. First years of being here, I really didn't talk. I mean, you know Christian. You had him here before. He was the only guy who, you know, kind of hang out with, talk to, and then one day I dropped the song. You know, I dropped the song, and then after that, it was game over. Everybody was like, "Oh my God, you're Victor!" Da da da. And then it's just been a crazy ride ever since then, bro. I can tell you stories.
So hold on. Let's go back a little bit.
It's been crazy.
You were born in Springs.
Yeah.
You grew up in Colorado since you were 14, and then you moved to Mexico.
No,
when you were
my
14.
bad. Yeah, my bad. We have it wrong. No, born in Springs, raised until I was 4 years old. So I was just a little kid here in Pueblo. At 4 years old, my mom and pop are like, "We have a better life in Mexico." That's a lie, because we're back here, you know. 14 years later. No, not 14. Yeah, 14 years later. 10 years later. 14, 15, I moved back here to start high school. Finished high school, not in the right way. I ended up doing online school. I got in trouble a lot in high school. So, yeah, man, like I said, this business, it goes beyond, like, behind that. There's a motive, like, why I'm trying to push this to be something big, because for the biggest moment, I just felt so out of place, you know? There was never oh, this is my meaning, bro. And you said it, a man without purpose is a man that's just wandering with life, and just life is hitting him, and he doesn't have a reason to say, well, yeah, I had a bad day, but I'm building this, so might as well, you know, it's not really a bad day, because I'm still okay. So when you don't have a purpose, bro, it's really hard. And I encourage all teenagers that see this, like, if you're a teenager and you're, I don't know, 14, 13, invest the time, bro. Invest the time to read books about psychology, about philosophy. Invest time in yourself, bro, because right there are the prime years that you're going to develop certain mentality that is either going to guide your 20s to becoming one of the rest, you know, another one of the rest, you know, just going out, partying, spending money, or you're going to spend your 20s building something that in your 30s are going to give you the freedom that you can only dream of.
Facts.
So
Facts. But
yeah,
going back to Mexico.
Bro.
So how is it different from America? I've only been to Tijuana, and that was for 4 hours. So does Tijuana compare it to where you lived?
Nah,
Probably not. Yeah.
Nah.
Did you live in a more in a prettier city?
Nah.
No?
Now, León, Guanajuato is known for being an industrial city, and they are dedicated onto the textile industry. So they do a lot of leather stuff. The town stinks like like I can't even imagine, bro, because it's leather, it's skin,
Is it
bro.
closer to the border or like?
No, we're down in the middle, bro. We're
Oh,
like probably
okay.
like 12 hours away from the border,
see.
14 hours away.
So how is it different, like compared to like
Everything, bro.
politics
Everything,
and
bro.
the culture and like?
Dude, cultural shock from the biggest. I come from a Catholic school, bro. I went from going on church every Monday with all my friends, you know, having a kid's life, on to coming over here and kids are dealing drugs in the bathroom. They're 14 years old having sexual intercourse.
They didn't do that in Mexico?
No, bro, because okay, in Mexico, the distinction of social classes is really big. You either have people that are really rich, you either have people that are middle class, or you have people that's really, really poor. Where my family moved, they were entrepreneurs. They had bars. They owned bars. So luckily enough, I didn't have the worst part of Mexico. I kind of enjoyed Mexico. We went to private school a lot. That's where I went. I went to private school, and that's why I was a Catholic school. But yeah, man, I didn't like all this experiences. You come over here to normal public school in
It
Pueblo,
changes
bro.
you. No,
It
I know.
changes you, bro.
I know. When Christian moved here, like he was like as straight as a pencil, and then his mom dated my dad, and then I wasn't. I didn't make great choices growing up, but I was also a teen growing up in a household where there wasn't a lot of structure, so I kind of had to learn stuff on my own. So I got into smoking weed at a young age, and then I was skipping school, just being a typical teenager, but also not making the best choices. So seeing how he was to like how the culture in America kind of changed him was crazy, because he was like, yeah, dude, I never did that shit in Mexico. Like my mom would beat my ass. I'm like, that's crazy, because that, I mean, not saying that it didn't happen to people growing up, but that didn't necessarily happen to me growing up. So yeah, bro, it's fucking
A lot of freedom, bro. I don't know what it is, bro. I don't
land
know.
of the free
Land of the
baby.
free, bro. You're
Yeah.
14, you can own a shotgun, bro, but you can't.
Hey.
You can't buy cigarettes, though.
I know.
Well, not anymore, though.
I
Not
know.
anymore.
I mean, I love America. I love that you can come here and create opportunity for yourself, because you can't have that type of freedom in other countries. So we're very fortunate to be able to have the freedom of speech, to be able to own and carry guns and all these different laws and these different freedoms that you don't have in other countries, that it's banned, or you'll get thrown into prison for years. It's so different. So I love it for that reason, but god damn, the government, do not come after me. But I'm going to tell it how it is. They are lying to us like no other.
Nah, bro,
it's
chill,
just
bro,
so it's all now it's what is it? It's not civil affairs, but psychological operations, and they're controlling you through the phone and through what the media is telling you, and we don't really know the hidden agenda. So we're over here believing that we're fighting for Israel, and there's probably a bigger agenda behind that we don't understand. You're telling me, Trump, I'm sorry, buddy, I'm not agreeing with everything you say, but I'm also not disagreeing with everything you say, but you're going to tell me and the American people that you're in a meeting at the White House with these higher powers, and on paper and on media, you're going to say that we're doing this for a cause, but you're going to tell the American people that you're not having a conversation with them outside of closed doors. And whatever that conversation is what's really going on. I'm sorry, ban me, flag me, I'm gonna fucking speak the truth, because I have the fucking right. I should probably not cuss too much, but we have the freedom of a microphone and to go in front of a camera and to speak our opinions. And he's doing this, you're doing this, Trump. Why can't I do it? It's respectable, but at the same time, man, it goes far beyond just national politics, down to the local politics, the hidden agenda. Just be truthful and be a good human being to the community and the people, and actually tell them what's going on with the money and what we're actually there for, instead of saying, hey, we're going to buy this boathouse on the Riverwalk because it's going to bring money to the community of Pueblo, and it's going to be so beneficial for tourists. Okay, but where is the money coming from, and what's really going on? So I like America because of the rights we have, but I don't like the lies that we're being told. And I like hearing different stories from different cultures because you get insight on, you know, how Mexico's like, how India's like, how's China, you know, living there for this many years. So it's really interesting to actually dive into other cultures. But Daniel, you were on here last time, and we didn't get too much into like what you do. So I want you to tell Victor as well as the person watching. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this video. I should have said that at the beginning, but you know I got to.
He's very passionate,
and
that's good. That's good. That's why I respect Xander a lot. Yeah. So like, you know, last time when we were joking around, but my main job right now, I'm in IT. I graduated CSU Pueblo. I guess I'll start with my background. So I'm the son of a Army veteran. I grew up in Army brat. I moved around the country, but I was born in Honolulu, Hawaii. Unfortunately, I moved when I was 2, so I didn't get to really enjoy it. But you know, I lived in Kentucky, Tennessee, North Carolina. I moved here back in 2017. Went to high school here. So like you said, with other countries, I was also able to experience other cultures in the United States. You know, like the Southern culture, people are more friendly. They'll give the shirt off their back compared to like, you know, Colorado. It's less of that, unfortunately. You know, people give you, at least in my experience, personal experience, people give you more dirty looks. They don't really talk to you. The Southern culture, people will literally like come and help you. I remember one thing I can always admire about the Southern people, whenever there's a funeral, everybody would stop their car, take their hat off, and give respect to people, you know, and that's just one example, but just seeing different environments and things. So I kind of bring a new like perspective to Pueblo. That's when I talk to people here, like you said previously, you know, when you ask people, I want to be a millionaire, you know, I'm going to have this business, and by 6 months, I'm going to have this much, and they're just like, yeah, cool. You know, sometimes they just never had that experience. That's why it's good to travel, so you can understand different cultures. You can understand people's perspectives. You know, you can grow your mindset and learn from that. But yeah, besides that, I'm in IT. I work for a company up in Colorado Springs. We manage like 50 clients. 6 months ago, I started my digital marketing agency called Golden Age Digital Marketing. We do anything from websites to social media management to website management. You know, I started working with Xander. He's helping me create content for the local business here in Pueblo. Shout out Gray's Craze Pueblo and Tyler. We're going to have a skit here out pretty soon. I think everybody's going to love it. And the reason I started that is because, you know, I work remote for most of the time. I'm like, you know what, let me start something that I'm able to do on the side, something I could do remote, I could do from anywhere. Because I do like to travel, and it's like, if it'd be nice to be able to get clients from all over the country. And that's my goal, is to have a client in every state, you know, in every territory, maybe even other countries. Because we live in a new age where you don't need to do hands-on work to make money. You can make money online, you know, and that's what a lot of these old timers don't understand, is like, we live in a new era. So I'm like, you know what, let's try this. So, you know, but there is still some things you have to do. Like, I had to walk into businesses dressed up nice. Hey, you guys don't have a website. I created you a demo. Is this something you like? It's either yes or no. And I've got told no so many times, but then I got told yes. Like, there was one business here. I walked in and said, hey, is the owner here by chance? He came out. He's like, let's have a talk. And he said, you know what? I don't need a website, but you came in, talked to me straight. You know, nobody else has ever did that. I'm going to give you a chance. And me and him are friends to this day. And, you know, he just said the fact that you did it, nobody's doing that anymore. Nobody's cold approaching, I guess you call it, you know, going to businesses, you know, showing a face-to-face. Everybody just wants to be behind a phone. Everybody just wants to send an email. But it's like, I like to be direct. I like to get an answer. I think if you kind of assume the position and you have confidence, there's an old saying like, fortune favors the brave. You know, if you go out and take the risk and you do it, life's going to bless you. But, you know, that's kind of where I come from. Like, I'm kind of from outside here as well. I mean, I've seen how Pueblo was back then. I have a lot of family here on my mom's side, you know, and it's unfortunate, you know, I wish it was better. I mean, I am moving in a week to Austin, Texas. That's where the company is going to be based out of. Tax reasons as well. They have more lenient taxes, but, you know, I hope people understand that, you know, because I've kind of criticize Pueblo and these things like how boring it is or how less resources there are, you know, especially in the tech field. There's really nothing here, and I don't mean it in like a bashful way. I just tell people like, hey, maybe this is something we should address and move on. When you criticize somebody, you know, sometimes they're right. Sometimes your haters are right. So that's why I tell people like I don't mean to bash you. I'm just, hey, you know, hey, city council, hey, mayor, there's no tech companies. Maybe you should consider bringing that here instead of a boathouse or you know, the Da Vinci Museum is cool, but it's like, man, people need jobs, man. You have CSU Pueblo that has a great CIS program, great business school, but those kids have nowhere to go in Pueblo. They have to leave. Like most of my friends left Pueblo. And that's one thing, you know, I wish they would realize, okay, how many more car washes and gas stations do we need to bring making you 17 an hour? We should bring a tech company. We should bring something here. We have good weather. We have, you know, things in place. But that's personally why because like I said, I've seen better places. I've seen where things were more opportunity. And I kind of want to take off, you know. But, you know, you meet great people here as these two gentlemen. And I was telling them off camera, it was like Pueblo's very, very supportive local businesses. Very. Like the people will come and support you. They'll go to your events. And I think there's great things to say about that. You know, I've been here 8 years. I made a lot of great connections. I learned a lot. But I think I'm ready to take it to the next level. And, you know, met Xander, very passionate man.
Well, thank you. How do you think, like, why do you think we can... You have your hand raised?
Yeah.
Well, speak. Grab that mic and speak.
No, I try to be, you know.
No.
cordial.
This is a podcast where sometimes it's good to wait, you know, until the person's finished. But if you got something to speak, like don't let me take the mic. Go ahead and speak it with confidence, Victor.
All right, man. Well, thank you. Appreciate you for coming by. No, I'm just kidding. I have a question for you because you said 8 years. That's a lot of time to create a market study. That's a lot of time to kind of see the direction of where Pueblo has been growing in the past couple of years and stuff. And I've always thought about the idea that a small town, you have the opportunity to either see it grow and grow with it, or you're just going to see it get stuck and you're going to get stuck with it. You as a person, you as a entrepreneur who is seen in other places, what do you think is like the main, like, what do you think Pueblo lacks? Because I feel like, because I don't know, I sit back and I kind of look at it and yeah, we don't have the best infrastructure. We have a lot of places that are abandoned. We have a lot of local support from government, but it's like you don't see anything about starting businesses, stuff like that. There's really no support from the. So what do you think would like mitigate that? What will you do if you were like mayor of a day? Because you sound really smart, bro. And I want to see what your opinion of that is.
So what I would do was, I think a lot of people don't want change. I think a lot of people that run the city are, you know, from the old time. Like, I just got to keep it real. They're like boomers, really old people, and they don't want to see change. I think they like how either they like how it is or they don't want any change. Why? I have no clue. That's something they need to get questioned by.
Yeah.
And they don't want to bring any new ideas or structure. They lack a leader. They lack an actual leader that's like, hey, you know, Pueblo is not where it could be. Pueblo could be better. It used to be better. I've heard so many stories from old timers like, hey, we used to have this. It was flourishing and growing, you know, and unfortunately it's just been at a standstill. Like, I remember when I came here to visit small, we had like Chuck E. Cheese. We had like, I think that Piper's Pizza on the Riverwalk, all this. And I know the Riverwalk was based out of San Antonio, and I went there. It was lively, people walking around. There was live music playing. And Pueblo could have that too, but the problem is nobody's doing it. I understand it takes one person to start that kind of, you know, event, but I just think we lack leadership, like actual people that are like, okay, you know, I see where everybody's coming from. Why are people leaving? They should interview people like myself, you know, out of school, you know. I have my own professors tell me you need to leave Pueblo if you want to actually succeed in your field. And if your own professor saying that in the town that their college is in, there's a problem going on. So I think they should go interview college students. Hey, what is stopping you from staying here? The first question they're going to say is there's no jobs of my skill level. Okay, so how should I do that? I'm going to go reach out to these tech companies, startups. Hey, instead of going to Austin, Texas, instead of going to Utah, instead of going to Alabama, come to Pueblo. We have the land. We'll give you subsidy loans. We'll make it easier for you to start up here. We'll give you incentives. We'll give you a free year or whatever it is because they can do that. I just think the leadership needs to outreach other businesses. That's what Texas is doing. That's what all these other towns and cities are doing. You know, like Springs, for example, they're doing that as well. I know they had the military helping them. That's why most veterans are there. They get out of the military, and there's tech companies there waiting for them. I think that's how Pueblo should be. They should be tech companies waiting for the college students, and that's going to bring more taxable income. And that's why I don't get these politicians, like, they want more taxable income, but the only way you're going to get that is by bringing more people with higher wage jobs, and that's going to bring other businesses. That's going to flourish the town. But unfortunately, I think the leadership that are still in place, you know, is not there. And that's why I don't get, you know, the residents here. I'm like, hey, man, I think it's time to start voting people in that have radical or like out of the world ideas, because what's going on now is not working. We have nothing to lose. Let's try something else. You know, and like I said, it's easy to complain about things. I'm not here to try to be a complainer, but I just want to bring that to people's attention, like my view. Like, it can be, and it's sad, you know, because like you said, I don't want to be stuck with it. I don't want to wait another 10, 15 years so another King Supers can open. It's like, and actually, speaking of, I just heard that Sprouts backed out of coming to Pueblo West. What is going on? Like,
it's the money. It's the money and the politicians.
See, yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's like, when is enough enough? When is the people going to be like, you know, Pueblo can be this, and we have everything in place. We just, you know, we're lacking the leadership. We're lacking people that will take accountability. And, you know, I've met some of the city council, and, you know, unfortunately, they just don't like to answer questions. You know, they just like to keep things as it is because, you know, they like how it's going for them, you know. Or
they like to talk like politicians.
Yeah. That's you know, and I'm not saying Pueblo's the only place. No. There's other places. Yeah. It's just, you know, like I said, I've seen the outside. You're getting a raw perspective, you know. The people are great. Like I said, you know, obviously not everybody's great. You know, there's a lot of problems with crime rate and all that. But I think that also is because of lack of things that they could look forward to. A lot of people are small-minded because there's nothing else here, you know. Like, there's problems everywhere, though. Like, Springs has a worse homeless problem than here. Denver has a lot of problems with crime, you know, people don't like to talk about. But, you know, it's just here. I just think it's just too much of a standstill, and people just need to realize that, like, hey, the only way it's going to change is with the people. You know, they're public servants for us, you know. Yeah. So I think that's what it is. And I think, like, the individuals that come on, like Xander, like Matt Smith, they all want change too, but, you know, they can't change how a town reaches out to businesses. Because real quick, one thing is, I remember there was this whole story like 15 years ago where Walmart was supposed to bring a warehouse here. That would have brought like 5,000 jobs or something like that. But something happened with the city council. The deal fell through. Then I heard that they flew out to New York City trying to beg them to come back. But they're like, no. Like, you don't mess with those billion-dollar companies. They went to Alabama. And that's what I'm saying. Like, you need to bring skillful jobs where people can look forward to. But when you just bring gas stations and car washes, like 17 an hour for somebody, for inflation that keeps going up, it's going to keep the economy poor. It's going to keep people, and, you know, then people are small-minded. You know, people are like, oh, this is, you know, hopefully I can get manager, you know. And that's cool. Like, if you want to be a manager of a car wash, go for it. But it's like me, you know, us, like, I want more out of life. I don't settle for mediocrity, man. I've worked those jobs, and I'm like, man, like, it sucks. But I knew I had to go through that to realize what I don't want. You know, sometimes you got to go through things and realize it's not for me. You know, I don't want to be a retail going in. My boss is like, hey, you're 2 minutes late. And then, you know, dealing with customers all the time. But yeah, I just think we're lacking huge leadership. I just don't think I don't understand if they're lazy. I don't know. Like, this is something that I wish they would answer questions. You know, they should come on the podcast. He's asked multiple of them.
Please do, guys.
Answer me. Come to me. I'll have a conversation too. Like, let's figure out what's going on, how we can solve it. You know, because I think that's the whole point, is for all of us to acquire a lot. I think in life you do need to be self-centered in the beginning, because you can never help others without helping yourself first. And then once you have enough resources, then make a podcast, spread the word, you know, give knowledge to others, help others. You know, somebody with money, you know, you could help homeless more often rather than somebody living paycheck to paycheck, you know. And I think that's what this town needs, is more people that are willing to be a leader and willing to acknowledge the faults of the town and fix them. That's all I want to do. I just say, hey, there's not enough tech jobs here. There should be more. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I will say this because you brought up a lot of great points. If the younger generation recognizes this within the community, that's a problem. For the politicians in the Pueblo community, I don't want to have an unhealthy debate or conversation.
Yes.
I just want to know the hidden agenda. I want to know where the money's going. I want to know why we're spending money on these places and what the thought process is. I want to know the answers that everybody else is asking. I don't want to know a politician's answer. I want to know the actual real truth. And that creates a lot of heat because I know, I'm sorry, I'm calling you guys out. That's not going to sit well with people in office right now. And I mean, I shouldn't even apologize, but I in the community want to know the truth. We don't want to hear a politician's answer. We don't want to hear this typed up speech that you have for every question this reporter is asking you. We want to hear the genuine, raw, real answer. So it's...
No, and I agree. It's like, I think people are starting to get more, what's it called? People starting to get more aware of this. And this is why, like, I don't want to bring too much about this in, but this is why people thought Trump was more real, because he spoke, you know, he cussed, he was making fun of people, and it was entertaining. Like, he wasn't trying to hide it. And to agree, I can respect that, you know. And I think some of these politicians locally, they're still trying to be professional, but they're hiding what's really going on by being nice, by being, you know, it's deceiving in a way. And like you said, I don't want to have a disgraceful debate, you know, it like heated. I just want to know, like, and if it's not your fault, let us know. Okay, these businesses don't want to come to Pueblo. Okay, why? You know, and I know a professor told me once it was because the crime rate and the education were low here compared to Springs and Denver. Okay, if that's the case, how do we fix the systems in those? How do we fix the crime rate? How do we fix the education system in Pueblo? We'll start there. You know, we just need to call out the faults so we can improve them. It's not to bash it.
There's a lot. And to go back on to what you were saying about really the recipe we have in Pueblo, just not the chef, is this is my hometown. And I see there's so much potential, and I know there's potential here. People just don't take action on it, which is sad. But if I'm seeing all these great people like Matt, like Vern, like JR, like Randy, like Angelo, all these people, Kenny, that actually are doing something in a small community, says that we have the resources and we have the people in the community to do something with your life. So I don't agree with the stigma that Pueblo is a small town, there's nothing to do. I told this to my mom. I was like, you got Pueblo all wrong, Mom. We can still come down and have a good time. Sure, there may not be a lot to do, but we'll still have fun. People just have the wrong thought process. They have this stigma that Pueblo is so small, there's nothing to do here. But in reality, if you look at it from a different lens, we got the steel mill that's been here for almost a whole century, maybe even a century. We got the Union Depot that provided transportation not only in Colorado, but, you know, from Colorado to the West Coast, from the West Coast to the East Coast. We have all these things that provided so much opportunity, and there's so much money, and there's still so much money going into it. You think the steel mill is going broke? No, don't quote me on this, but last time I heard about it, the Russians own it. Why do the Russians own it? Well, there's got to be a reason why the Russians own it, because they see opportunity right there, and it's still providing jobs and opportunity. But that's if you're looking at, you know, that picture. But if you look at the people in the community, like Matt's the first person to franchise a business in Pueblo and actually make it go global. If that doesn't say something about the type of people in the community of Pueblo, then I don't know what fucking does. We have NCAA champions within the U.S. I kind of butchered that because I'm being so passionate right now. That went on to become fucking NCAA champions in wrestling. We have this crazy saying in Pueblo that actually it was fucking, who was it? Theodore Roosevelt said something about the Medal of Honor recipients in Pueblo because there's so many of them. But he's like, I don't know what they're feeding them or I don't know what's in the soil, but they damn sure know how to produce heroes. We have 4 Medal of Honor recipients who are from Pueblo. I mean, the wrestlers here are fucking phenomenal. It's like they're feeding these guys literally corn and fucking chili, but still, like, it just goes to show that it's not about how small the town is. It's about how small-minded you are. And if you don't take the corrective actions to switch your thinking and actually see opportunity when it's there and take action on it, your life is never going to change. And I don't mean to sound like, your typical fucking self-help motivation guru, because I'm not. I'm just telling it how it is, and I'm saying there can be a change if you become the change. You can't just follow along and expect people to lead the way who don't know what the fuck they're doing in leadership. You got to be the leader and lead the way. What is that other saying? It's like, don't be a follower, be a leader, or something like that.
Yeah.
Because it's just so powerful. It really is. If you break it down, it's all about your perception and how you think about your life and where you're at. And if you're actually going to seize the moment and seize the day rather than let the day seize you. So it's either you fuck the day or you let the day fuck you, because life's going to fuck you either way. Life is going to raw dog the shit out of you. No lube, no consent. So you might as well fucking do it back to life. And you might as well fuck life just as hard as life is fucking you. Because at the end of the day, when you're 80 and you're on your deathbed, and I'm talking to Daniel, I'm talking to Camera Girl, I'm talking to Victor, and I'm like, guys, man, I sure wish I could have, started that podcast when I was in my 20s, but no. Sure, there's going to be opportunity cost. Family, friends, the time you spend with them goes towards the time you're spending on building this. I don't want to look back and be like, man, I could have been a millionaire. I sure as fuck could have been a millionaire, but I didn't.
You know how many older people I've heard that from? And that was my goal, man, is to be in the deathbed, like you said, with the least amount of regrets in my life. And that's why it's like, in your 20s is the perfect time to take risks, because you're less likely to have responsibilities, like having kids. You're young enough to where if you were to fail, if a business option, opportunity doesn't work out, you can bounce back from that quicker, rather than if you're in your 40s having kids. You're less likely to take the safe route rather than, trying to bounce back. So I think it's like you say, it's right. It's all about perspective, And there's, my mentor told me one time, this good saying is, when life is good, it's still bad, but when life is bad, there's still a lot of good. Because, both things are happening simultaneously. It's just how you look at it. I can make $1 million, but it's like, oh, I didn't get to spend time with my family, so maybe they passed away. But it's like, I have $1 million in my bank account, though. So it just depends what you actually want to see in life. So that's why there's some homeless people that love being homeless. I've met them. They absolutely love it. And then there's some rich people that absolutely hate it. But to a degree, I'm like, maybe they still do, because I feel like they'd give their money away. But yeah, he's absolutely right.
Yeah, I mean, it's so powerful. It really is. What do you think? You're over here listening to this whole conversation. Is there anything you can relate to? Do you think the same way? Do you have different feelings on the topics we've discussed? How do you feel?
I keep thinking about the fact that you guys keep saying, don't be a follower, be a leader. But at least from my perspective, I think of, don't be a follower for sure, but be strong and just do the right thing. The right thing might not be the same for others, but as long as your intentions are good with what you're choosing to do in life and how you want to be towards other people, that's something that no one can take from you. So as long as you're being positive, having a strong mindset about your intentions and what you want to do with a business or with how you treat people, especially when it comes to the community of Pueblo, that's how I like to think about it. And I do think that people in the community of Pueblo should also start thinking that way. So far I've agreed with every topic that you guys have been talking about.
Okay.
But also when it comes to people having different opinions, people not agreeing with what you're talking about, a big part of being a leader is also having the willingness to be collaborative with others, even if you don't agree. And I think that could be part of the issue. People don't want to hear what you have to say sometimes because their mindset has already been made and they don't like to see change. Back to what Daniel was saying earlier, like some people, like he was saying, I'm not going to speak on whether I agree or not because that's messy, but when it comes down to politicians in the community and stuff like that, they are pretty traditional in the city of Pueblo, but some people just aren't willing to listen, and sometimes you have to just bite the bullet and take it for what it is, but know that what you believe in and how you perceive it and how you choose to communicate with other people, that could be a really big change as far as perspectives with others, and even big change when it comes to the physical environment of where you're at.
Spot on. It was. This quote has been running through my head, and I'm sure you guys have taken a gander at, the TV, but hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. And weak men create hard times. That's a lot to digest, isn't it, Victor?
I think that's probably one of the main quotes I've had this past 2-3 years, man, because we live in a society where everything is given to us nowadays. I mean, you can sit on your couch, get food delivered from DoorDash. You pay all your utility bills on your phone. You don't have to do anything if you don't want to. Like if you really want to go crazy insane, like you said, you get a remote job. You clock in from your house, 8 hours, customer service, whatever you do. You at least have to go out and be with customers, But if you really don't want to, you have to have no social connection with nobody, like no outside connection. And that creates this type of personality where you think you deserve everything right there and then. So there's no hustle, there's no struggling, there's no compassion, because you don't understand how hard it was for this homie to get everything he has, And so whenever you get all these people that have all these big ideas, and then you get all these people that are just like, nah, man, it's just too crazy, you realize what society has created. Has created two different societies where people are go-getters, and then you have people that are just closed-minded. And so I don't know if you ever heard about this, but there's like levels of consciousness. So you have level 1, whereas my dad's a carpenter, I'm a carpenter. Carpentry is all I'm ever going to know. And then you have level 10, which you start understanding, I am Victor. Outside of Victor, there's a person that people know. Outside of that person, there's somebody who I think I believe I am. Outside of that person, there's somebody who I actually am. So now if you're able to see yourself from a third perspective, you're able to see Victor is mad at this situation because this other person who had their own set of ideas, who had their own day, who had their own problems, has an altercation with Victor who had his own person, who has his own ideas, who has his own day, is having an altercation. And if you're able to see it from that perspective, you end up understanding that these two individuals have just a lot of energy and it's colliding right now. Obviously, they're going to have an issue. These people are not going to be able to sit down and understand each other's ideas because you are too entitled to your own opinion. And that's okay. What's not okay is not being able to be open and say, this guy kind of has an idea, because right away we think emotionally. We don't think with our intelligent mind. Right away we think, oh, this guy says I'm wrong. This guy says my opinion is not what's going on. Instead of saying, you know what? His ideas kind of work with what I had going on last time. I'm going to combine both of ideas and create a new idea. So it's just like, I feel like this right now, having all these conversations, being able to understand that there's other young mind individuals who are aware of the problems that we have as a community, honestly just inspires me. And like they said, like that quote says, strong man create hard times. Hard times create strong man. Good times create a weak man. And what does a weak man create? Creates hard times, bro. What are we doing right now, bro? It's like right now we're in those hard times, and I feel like it's up to us, you know, like this community members, all of those guys, I mean, they're eventually gonna, you know, unless they figured out a way to be immortal, but eventually they're all gonna step down, you know, and I think that's what the problem is going on right now. There's a race against the mass awakening of all the young generation. They know that TikTok is a really powerful platform. That's why they're trying to ban it. They know social media is probably having more impact and reach than anything ever been made. Television is not even as big as social media nowadays. So we're just going through a lot of changes, a lot of difficult times that are going to create a different society. And I feel like this is where we have to lock in and say, all right, we don't want to live under a certain type of regiment that's telling me what to eat, that is telling me what to do. We already have the flock cameras. Can we just think about that? Like, bro, they're monitoring every single thing we do. So it's just a matter of time until they're like, all right, this is cyberpunk and everybody's getting a chip. We're going to start reading what you do, how you wake, how you sleep, what you're eating. We're going to start. It's just a matter of time. So like you said, we do have to bring awareness. I know you believe in Pueblo. It's sad that you have to go. I mean, I honestly, bro, I love it for you because, you know, you want to go out there and do your own thing. But, I mean, we need more people like you who are willing to say something, who are willing to take the shot. Because, I wrote it in a song, bro. I'm taking shots in my name, bro. I'm building a tower to Babylon, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's like the only thing that we do by doing this is bringing attention to ourselves. And it's like, are we ready for this? Are we actually ready for what the responsibility of this is? So I don't know, man. I'm ready. I don't care. Shit. I already signed my grave. I already told myself revolution's getting started. But anyways, let's change the subject real quick.
Take it away.
Take it away.
Oh, the only thing I have to add is, based on what you were saying, interaction is what creates community. If you're not willing to be open, like you were saying, like be vulnerable, be willing to listen to others, I think that's where the dream ends up dying.
Go back to the remote. You're 100% right. Like I was telling, it was crazy. I'm saying this to an older guy. I said the exact same thing. Technically, a remote job, you don't have to go outside. You get Uber Eats. You can get your groceries delivered. You never watching a movie or anything. You can just go on Netflix. And I said that's the problem. That's why I went back to, remember when I got my clients, they were like, the fact that you came in and walked in and talked to me face to face was shocking to them. And to me, that's just a normal interaction. But like you said, the generation coming after us, or people our age, even people a little bit older than us, they don't know how to socially interact. I've seen it in college as well. A lot of people don't know how to talk. They don't know how to talk. And that's probably the main problem in this society is nobody knows how to interact. Nobody knows how to get together. You know, everybody is all timid and scared and nervous. And, you know, like I know the world is changing. There's a lot of things going on, but you can't live in fear. That's the problem. I think a lot of people live in like fear, their fear of change, their fear of doing this, interacting with people. But it's like you have to in a society. All through history, we've interacted with as a community. We've made decisions. You know, how do you meet your wife? How do you meet your husband? You know, how do you interact with people at work? You have to talk to people. Communication. Why do you think the founding fathers made that the number one amendment was to be able to have the freedom of speech, to be able to diversify and have, you know, interaction? That's powerful. So I think, you know, number one thing too, you know, I even saw Matt Smith tell Xander, like the one advantage he has and people like us like-minded is we're actually going out talking, being persistent, meeting people, because nobody really is coming out talking, man. Everybody's quick to scroll, but nobody wants to create, you know. No people, like you said, they just want things handed to them. And it kind of, in the family dynamic too, you know, if their kid's crying, here's an iPad, here's a phone. Don't worry about it. Going to your room is like going to paradise now, you know. So I think that's the problem nowadays too, is like people are becoming more soft. People are relying on technology, and you're talking to an IT guy, and I see it. I literally see it, you know. That's why I try to go out, do some things, and because it's like I'm the person, I can't be in the house all day anyway. I got to be constantly doing something else. That's why I like IT, because it's different things all the time. But yeah, you're totally right, man. It's just, you know, I see it all the time. People can't talk. People look down. And it's like, yo, I'm just asking a question, you know. But that gives, to me, I see as an advantage because I'm like, okay, I know how to talk to people. I'm already winning. I know how to get on the podcast. I know how to talk to people older than me, giving me money. That's the way I see it. I'm already winning. Like it's easier than ever, in my opinion, to make money. So
nah, that's crazy. Yeah. That's what you just say.
It really is.
It really is.
If you look at the numbers, what is that metric? Because it's all a numbers game at the end of the day. So if you make 10 grand in 1 month, that's, theoretically $100. I don't know. I'm not good with math, but if you make this much at this time, it'll add up to this much at this time. So let's say for Pueblo junk removal, if you make $70 each day, that's $490 you just made that week. Let's say you charge that each time you do a service, and that's for 1 day, and you're booked 7 days a week. So now, 490 times 4, what is that? Like 800? No, I don't even want to say 800. That's going to be 1600 to 1700 within the month. So that's 17, roughly, we'll round, and I'll keep it simple. $1,700 that month you just made from your business. So that over 12 months is going to be, probably 1350. To sum it up, it's a numbers game. And if you just say, hey, I want to be a millionaire, well, what is it going to take? If you're in sales and you're selling solar at, I don't know, whatever price they have, let's say $1,000, and you get a commission of $500, and you get 2 sales that day, that's $1,000 right there in day 1. Let's say you repeat that process for 7 days a week. You got $1,000 for 7 days a week right there. That's 7 grand you just made that week. Add that by 4 weeks, because we have roughly about 4 weeks within a month. So you have about 14,000 to 24,000 you just made within that month. You add that up to 12 months. We're looking over 6 figures right there. So now you're just a fraction towards that goal. Now you're a quarter away from actually reaching $1 million, because how a quarter of a million is $25,000, and you just made 6 figures within that year. So year 2, you're gonna be just a quarter of the way there. And if you can repeat that model over and over again until the numbers keep scaling and growing, you're not that far off. So I can't remember the quote verbatim, but it's all a numbers game. And if you just think about the end goal and you're like, how do I become a millionaire? Well, what am I doing right now to get myself there? How can I get myself there right now? And how can I price this at this much to where I'm going to make this much in this week, and it's going to add up, yearly towards that goal. So let's take $1 million. You want to make $1 million this year. Well, how much do you have to make a month? How much do you have to make quarterly? How much do you have to make, within the 4 quarters of the year? You're going to have to make $250,000 within each quarter of the year to get to $1 million. How do you do that? Well, take Matt, for example. How many franchises does he have to sell for the numbers and sales to add up to where he's making $1 million within that month? Does that make sense?
Yeah, bro. Being a millionaire is not flashy at all, bro. Whoever thinks that being a millionaire is waking up and there's girls right next to you, booty shaking, rain falling, like, that's not real, bro. Like you said, it's a numbers game. It's like waking up and knowing what's your overhead costs, how you're spending every day. It's all about knowing how are you going to be more profitable? How are you going to be leaner? I feel like more in this economy nowadays, because everything is so expensive. I can't pull up to some lady who's going to give me her last $40 just for me to take a couch. You know what I'm saying? So there's that's one of my struggles here as well, because there is certain, like right now, I was on my phone talking, lady just canceled on me. Why? I don't understand yet. But there's certain type of, just like maybe the price was too much at the end. There's like little factors that just making money, just whenever somebody sets the goal of like, I'm gonna be a millionaire, and they actually start doing the work, they get disappointed because they realize that it's probably gonna not hit until year 5. Because usually I seen a thing, it's like it usually takes 4 years for somebody to really like build something like that to a point where it's like you're not even recognizable, because you spend a year and a half, 2 years building that person who's going to be able to take control of all of that. Because like we said earlier, having money, it's a big responsibility. What are you going to have when you have $1 million in your hand? Are you going to be the guy who's slapping people left and right just because now all of a sudden you have $1 million? Or are you going to be the dude who, no matter what, is going to help, no matter if the person deserves it or not, So it's like, and it's like, I don't know, it's not flashy, bro. Being a millionaire, it's not for everybody,
See what
bro.
you're saying, and I think you won't know until we reach that point in life.
Yeah,
we're not gonna know how we're gonna act until we actually.
Oh,
reach
I know,
that
bro.
point.
I'm waking up, blocking
Yeah.
everybody, hopping in the Ferrari, going down
For
Sunset Boulevard, and saying, I did this all by myself. No community was behind me. I did this all by me, bro. In Miami too, bro.
For real.
I'm
That's
just
what's up.
sold
Yeah.
everything
Yeah.
Nah, bro. Of course not, bro. But
Oh, I mean, to an extent,
That's
yes.
what I'm
bro.
doing.
To an extent, Victor,
That's
yes.
exactly what I'm doing.
100%. I'm
Nah,
for
bro.
sure. I'm gonna flaunt it, but I'm not gonna be like, "Hey, baby,"
hey, but
like, come hop in the ride real quick.
nah.
I'm gonna be like, "Oh shit, where do I want to go this week? Monaco,
Yeah.
Paris? Fuck, hop on that plane with me." Matter of fact, let me go get this jet. Let's go. We're gonna have a good time. Type of shit.
So Xander, because I keep hearing you want the $1 million thing. Is that your goal right now?
$1 million? That's it?
And then if so, why? Why do you want to be a millionaire?
Great question. I think there's a lot of answers for me. Like I was saying, I didn't grow up with money. I grew up broke. I grew up struggling. I grew up in the struggle. We got evicted from our house when I was 8 years old, and my dad was like, "What the fuck do we do now?" So growing up, I've always looked at that, and as a kid, you're always watching, and you're always, analyzing. And in the back of your head, you're thinking, I don't want to recreate these same situations, either mentally or financially. And I remember conversations with my dad where he's like, when you become a millionaire, what are you going to do? Kind of conversations. Like kind of fantasizing on it. Like when you become rich, when you're rich, when we're rich, how are we going to go about life? So I do remember those conversations, and I think those were like little seeds planted in my brain at a young age. So for me, my why is because I don't want to struggle and worry about financial problems. I want to be able to have the money to go out on a date and not be like, shit, let me check my bank account real quick, or book a vacation to go see my friends and not have to worry about, well, fuck, I didn't make enough this month. I can't go, guys. I can't see you in 3 years because that's when I'll be able to afford it, guys. I'm sorry. I got to save up money. I don't want to have those problems. I don't want to have those problems. I want to know how money works, and I want to know how I can utilize it to my own advantage to where I have the best return on my own investment, whatever investment it may be. There's many investments out there, but why do I want to become a millionaire? Why do I want to become a billionaire? Why stop at millionaire? It's crazy.
Yeah.
But you got to get there first. But I don't want to struggle financially. What do I want to do? To answer the second part of your question, what kind of person I would be? Well, I just don't know yet until I get there. I would like to think that I'm going to stick to my guns and stick to my morals and be a good human being at the end of the day, not flashing around. Maybe have fun for sure. Go spend your money on a dinner with your friends, or go to Rome and go see the Leaning Tower Pizza or Pizza, whatever they want to call it.
Yeah.
Fucking Europeans. But I just want to be able to have fun, but also have the financial security to do so, and know that when I go to sleep, money is coming into my bank
Yeah.
account.
What do you? So let me ask this question then. What is success? Because I've heard before that before you even find success, you have to define success to the T for you. Like for example, me, I'm gonna be honest, bro. I don't think I'll see myself ever touching $1 billion. What success for me is, like you said, waking up, bills are paid for the next 5 years. I don't have to worry. I could take my family on a nice vacation. I'm not gonna spoil my kids because I didn't have shit. I had to work since I was 12. Why am I gonna make my kid have everything? You know. And just be able to enjoy this community, like giving me the opportunity to bless of my family, you know. It's like once you, and why I say this, because this guy told me when I was 17. I'm 23 now, bro. You have to define what being rich means to you. You have to define what success means to you. You have to define it's exactly, bro, exactly how you picture it perfectly, because there's no other way for you to backtrack from there. If you put the picture, I'm a billionaire, backtracking from $1 billion onto the first step that you're gonna have to take, it's probably not gonna look like it's gonna be rocky, bro. You're not gonna be able to do that. But if you're able to say like, all right, this month my goal is to have $10,000. Now you're backtracking $10,000. You're like, all right, if I can make this by the end of the year and keep it safe, that means I have enough responsibility to have $10,000 saved. And not only that, they're free. They're not meant for no bill. They're not meant for no nothing. So then if you're able to have 10, that's why they say a rule is 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, 50,000, 100, then it's $1 million, something like that. It's like because economics is a psychology. That's I read a book, The Psychology of Money, and is when you're in a broke state of mind, there's no opportunity for creativity because you're always trying to survive. You're always in that state of like, how am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to eat? So that leaves no room for you to sit back and say, my community needs this. So what would be the first step for somebody broke out there who has like literally stressing about money? Literally go do anything you can, bro. You at this point, you can't be a little picky. You can't be trying to go find a lavish life. If you have to go sweep the streets, bro, do it, bro, and do it proud, bro. Love it, bro, and learn anything you can, because you never know that sweeping streets, you can start your own company of sweepers, bro. You can get your own company that works with the contracting with the government, bro, and it's just out there sweeping leaves all the time. So it's just like, you got to really define what success is, and you got to break it down into steps, because being realistic is probably one of the things that helped me grow as much this company now. Because I mean, I started on May, and I was like, am I really gonna register this? Am I really gonna have enough clients? And now it's a matter of like, I'm gonna systemize everything, so I'm getting leads every day, so I'm getting a customer service that I'm giving is going to be translated onto all my other workers. The way that I quote, everything is going to turn into a system. So it's just like, I don't know, bro. It's beautiful what you say, and it's good to be delusional. But I think I'm in that stage right now where I can say like, delusional is good. It's what's going to keep you from giving up. But what we actually need is structure and be grounded. Like if my first goal is, like, for example, me, is for the business to have $3,000 in the savings, like just $3,000 in case I've ever mess anything up. I could just be like, yeah, here it is, go fix it, you know. And so being smart financially is, dude, it's psychology, bro. Everything is psychology. You got to work on yourself from within. And then I don't know, bro. It's like the money the money mindset, bro. You become a millionaire from within. You don't just work to become a millionaire. You work inside, you meditate, you listen to your problems, you say, all right, I'm a person who is too reactive to negativity. Well, I'm going to work on that, because making a lot of money has a lot of negativity. There's a lot of people who don't like you. There's a lot of people who are going to try to steal your business. I had a kid, bro. If you're watching this, bro, I promise you, bro, I reacted, bro, but I reacted professionally. He's like, this town ain't big enough for both of us, bud.
This town ain't big enough for the both.
I was like, I click on his profile. He has like videos, like, I don't even know, like nothing to do with junk removal, bro. I'm like, there's people out there just trying to get a reaction for anything, bro. True. And so that's when you get tested, you know. I deleted the comment right away. I didn't even get the chance.
We're not living in the wild west here.
We have 110.
This town ain't big enough for the both of us.
Yeah.
It's like, well, meet me at Union at dawn. We're gonna duel to the death.
We're gonna crash trailers, bro. See what trailer keeps standing and still stands or something.
No, you said a lot of good stuff, and I'll answer your question. But yeah. Camera girl smirked, and it seemed like you had like something to say about that.
It's just kind of funny how people react, and how you're talking about how you had a professional reaction, but like, I don't know, when it comes to failure, like, if you fail at something, at least you don't regret it personally. but for you to not try it is going to be that regret. So if people are going to perceive something and have their own opinion, that's not really anything to do with you. That's called reflection or projection. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So as long as you know what you're doing is good for you, then that's something that's completely on them.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, man, I reacted right away. I was like, man, get out of here. But
Now, that's very common in the business world, and I've heard about it many times in Pueblo. To answer your question, dude, I think that, honestly, I don't have an answer. Success looks like multiple things for me. You know, it means having $3,000 in the bank account. It means having a family. It means cherishing the moments with the people you love. It means actually being financially stable, have $1 million in the bank account. But I do agree, you got to be realistic in the terms of how do you start, how do you get there, map out the plan, make a roadmap, map out the model, follow the plan, learn from the plan, and continue to scale and grow. But dude, I couldn't answer that question in terms of like a definite answer, because that's a question I've been battling with myself for months now. Like, what does success look like for me? I couldn't fucking tell you, because I don't know. I know I want to get here, and I want to enjoy multiple experiences in life, family, friends, money. But I think it starts within. It doesn't start on paper. It does start within. You got to create it within yourself to have that mindset. But also, like, I don't know, because it's hard, because sometimes I get so consumed in what I'm doing that it's hard to turn the switch off and actually go and enjoy, you know, my nephew's 4th birthday party and enjoy the moment with my sister, my brother-in-law, my family, spend time with my dad, my sister. You know, as they're getting older, I'm understanding that they don't have much time left within my own life or this earth. Anything can happen like that. So what does success or even happiness look like for me? I don't know. I'm figuring it out along the way. And someone told me, like, don't figure it out, because you'll never know. I have no fucking clue what I'm doing. No. They told me. And I was like, dude, you're a fucking multi-millionaire and you're telling me this?
That's crazy.
That's good advice.
Yeah.
But he structured it like, all right, God, family, money. I'm like, I get that. You know, family for me is like my family. I want to have a family. Who doesn't want to enjoy that pillar in life and raise their kids and teach them the fundamentals that you didn't learn, but also that you think would make them a better human being? Like, I was teaching my nephew, you know, a few things as a stern uncle, but as like, you know, you just listen and understand, like, when it's time to go, it's time to go. No ands, ifs, or buts. Let's go. We're going. I know you're having fun, but come on, go find your goddamn sock that you lost in this ball pit. Where did you put that goddamn sock? True story. True story. This happened Sunday. His mom was like, go find your sock. And he just went to go play, and I was like, no, come here. Where did you take your sock off at? He's like, right here. We're looking. I'm like, dude, I don't see it. Where else could you have put it? He's like, I don't know. I'm like, well, let's find it together. And then, you know, mom actually found it right there where he said it was. And I was, you know, just being a hard ass. But that's, you know.
Mom finds everything, by the way. You ever ask a mom to find
they
something,
find everything.
they'll find it immediately.
The women's always right, is what I've been hearing. But I don't know what success looks like for me. I don't know what happiness looks like for me. I'm still learning as I go. What makes sense, what doesn't make sense through different experiences. But I can tell you, I'm so obsessed with reaching this goal, and I'm putting so much work into it, and I'm just so relentlessly aggressive towards reaching this goal, and it's paid its dividends, and it's just putting opportunity in front of my face that I didn't expect was going to happen 8 months ago. So that's a open-ended answer for me.
just keep living, man. That's all you could do. Because eventually you'll be like, okay, well, in this time of my life, this is my happiness. And then 10 years, you'll be like, you know what? This will be my happiness. So, like I said, life's not black and white. Everybody's success is different. Like, there may be somebody like I think that last guest you brought on, his success was being able to run again. So, for me, I could do that right now. So, it's like, it is what it is, Some people it's legacy, that's pretty much mine. Some people it is money, some people is, you can have money but be financially free. You don't have to be a millionaire. You can make $300,000 a year and be financially free. You can do the exact same thing. So that's why I was asking you, like, what is the actual million in the bank account gonna do? I think, like, I was told money's a tool. So, money is gonna get you your food, help you survive. So end of the day, it's like, I was told too, it's not really real because they're printing it and they decide how much a dollar is today, but unfortunately you need it in this society. So like I said, just and to me too, it's like I love to travel. I love to go around the world. I want to see everything. I want to learn, uncover truths and things like that. So that's kind of my goal as well. So like I said, and I meet somebody down the street, they're like, hey, I just want to buy a house. I want to have a paid off mortgage and then have a nice little car, and I'm chilling. So, and that's why I was telling you in the beginning of the show was like, you can't expect people to understand where you're coming from. Like, you tell them I want $1 million. You're like, I just want to be able to buy a McDonald's hamburger tonight. That's truly some people. So, just be careful, who you talk to, because some people will think you're crazy, and that's their perspective though. If you talk to us, we think you're on the right path. You talk to somebody, they'll be like, hey, Xander's kind of crazy, man. I'm just trying to work. They'll be like, hey, that's happened to me, man. I'm saying stuff. They're like, even telling people I'm moving, they freak out. They're like, what? And I'm like, and then that shows who they are. That shows how small-minded they are. And then you ask them, hey, have you ever been out of the town? No. I've been people that haven't even been to Springs yet. And I'm like, you've been here 20-something years, 30-something years. And I never want to be like that. I like to explore. I like to check out new things. So, like, it's all perspective, man. So just keep going, keep living. Don't try to be like, I need to figure it out by 25. It's impossible. Like, anybody that told you they had it like that are lying. So, you never know what you want till you go through it and anything. So,
spot on, dude. I agree. You're never gonna have it figured out. You're gonna learn through experiences. And honestly, never figure it out. Because as soon as you think you have it all figured out, what more are you going to learn? It's like the fire service. If you're getting into the job as a fireman and you think you know everything, you're going to be humbled quickly. And you're going to be hated. The officers are going to hate you. The people with more experience on the job are going to hate you. Because if you think you know everything in the job, you're going to get this person killed. You're going to get this person injured. You're going to make a mistake that when it comes down to it, could be life or death. So if you just go through the job throughout your 20-plus career as a sponge, and you're always learning, always soaking up information, never being complacent, never being comfortable, but seeking to be better and grow, you're going to be a better fireman. Because you're going to be like, oh, well, this guy just taught me how to search for a victim that, I thought I knew how to search for a victim, but this way is more efficient. Maybe we can actually get the job done in less time and actually save this person. Or this person, taught me this is a better way to open a door or put out a fire. Basically, if you walk into life and this job thinking you know everything, it's not the job for you.
No, that's pretty good that you bring it up, because one of the things that I think makes us who we are is the ability to accept that we don't know everything. And the more you're able to say, I don't know, can I learn? the quicker you're gonna grow. Is like the only person that's really stopping you from reaching your full potential is you. And that used to piss me off, because like you're chilling in the bathroom trying to take a dump, and then out of nowhere you see David Goggins saying, "Who's gonna push the boats?" And you're like, "Bro, I'm gonna carry the boats." Yeah, I'm like, I'm pushing a log right now, bro. You're trying to but it's like, so it's like this hustle culture. I feel like that's why they created it, because I don't know if you guys remember, but back then hustle culture was really, really like alive. Like, work 90 hours plus a week, wake up, work, yep. Sleep, wake up, work, or if not, you're not gonna get it. And I feel like we all done it. I feel like you guys all done it, and it gets to a point where you overburn yourself, where you're like, it's Wednesday and you think it's Thursday. Like, that never happened to me before. Like, I was like dead ass thinking that I had an appointment with the banker at Wednesday, and I thought it was Wednesday. Turns out the appointment was on Tuesday. I'm a day ahead. I'm like a day behind. I'm like, bro, what's going on? And it's all because you're trying to do all these things at the same time, and it's like, you have to take your time, bro. You have to take your time to enjoy it. And why I bring this up is because you guys said it. You don't know what success is, but to me, you're successful.
I said that. I don't think he said that.
No, I don't think he said it. But
I mean,
they kind of. I mean, they kind of. What I'm trying to say is, with the definition of success, is like, it's not that you have to say, oh, I want to have this, and that, and that's it, because then you become complacent. Then you reach your goal, and then that's it. Is that it? No, you're always going to have to improve. You're always going to have to be better, just because that's the nature of human. We are meant to evolve. We're meant to become better than we were yesterday. And so what I'm saying is, like, when you start creating that success meaning for you, it's quicker. The process is quicker, because now you're not waking up saying, I'm going to make $1 million one day. Now you're waking up saying, okay, I'm starting this junk removal company who has a potential of creating $1 million in revenue, but I have to open a recycle center. I have to make it to the point where I'm not dumping all this waste, because what am I doing? I'm just throwing stuff to the landfill, making up more space. That's not what people like. People like to see their stuff being reused. People like to see a receipt that says you save 93% of this load could have ended in the landfill, but because you chose us, we're able to donate it to these kids who never had the opportunity to read this book, whatever, and so you start thinking beyond that. You start thinking beyond the $1 million, because now success it's reachable for you. Now success doesn't look like a fancy thing that is just a lot of work. No, now it looks like it's a lot of work that's gonna pay off. Like you said, you've been working for this. It's about to come up on a year. Congratulations, bro. Like, dude, that's amazing, bro. Being able to say, you know what, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna show up, and even on the day, I'm sure you had people cancel on you, and you probably didn't record before, bro. Like, if that's something that happened to you, and you still were able to say, I don't care, bro, I'll record it by myself, and still had a video, even if it had 1 or 2 views, you still did it. And that's like, bro, that's like,
the show goes on,
mind, bro. The show goes on,
no matter what. It
just
happened today, actually. I was telling him before he came in, my guest that was supposed to come in, Alan Medina. I'm going to say it right here. I look forward to you coming on, well, when this video goes live next week, so it wouldn't be relevant. But I look forward to the interview. But his campaign manager called me. He's like, dude, I'm going to be straightforward with you. I'm not going to be able to make it tomorrow. We got to reschedule because I got floor tickets to the AC/DC concert in Denver. And I was like... Valid. Yeah. Very valid. Yeah. I'm not going to be mad. I'm like, dude, I wish I had floor tickets to AC/DC. He's like, I don't know how long they're going to be touring, but this might be my last shot to, go and experience something like that. So it happened. And I was like, well, how can I fix this problem that I have tonight? I could record by myself, but I'd be talking in front of a camera, just going on about, self-help guru shit, or like, I don't know, experience. I don't know. I've never done it.
Believe in yourself.
For like an hour or 20 minutes. But I was like, you know what? I have some people on my phone that I can reach out to. I want to create an environment where like-minded people are sitting on the same couch and we're talking about experiences, entrepreneurship, money, and the whole 9 yards, and we're just going all in conversation, and it's raw and it's authentic. Who can I reach out to? And boom, we made it happen. So
proud, bro. I'm proud.
The show goes on, no matter what. The show is going to go on. I stick by that motto. Dude. This has happened before. And I'm like, well, show goes on. How can I bring people on short notice?
Bro,
so
I still remember that one time, bro. We met up at that ramen place on, what was it, Union? I don't know what it was, bro. We were like a couple homies. and everybody just straight up ignoring you, bro. You're like so invested into having this. We were talking about this, bro, about creating this. We was like the beginning, bro. You're like, I want to create this idea where we can, like, you know, start motivating people. I don't even know why we got together, bro, but it was something regarding this. And I the only thing I do remember is that you always been the same. You didn't care. Everybody else was just having fun, laughing at us because we were having a deep conversation. And that's when it clicked, man. I was like, this is what it takes, bro. It takes for you to, you're a pioneer. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, there's a couple pioneers out here who, like, you know, take the risk, bro. And he said it. The brave gets rewarded.
Oh, fortune favors the brave.
Yeah, fortune. You know what I mean. My bad.
Braveheart.
Yeah, so it's just like, it's crazy to see this, and I hope, like, in the future we can look back and be like, damn, bro, like, good.
No, for sure. We're gonna look back on this and we're gonna remember it, and it's gonna be a great time.
I'm gonna be in jail, like, with my bugs and they'll be like, man, all the money laundering and stuff that I'm gonna be doing.
Where's that money you owed
10
me?
years later.
You'd be Where's that money you owed me, Victor? Huh? You put your ramen on blackjack and you lost.
Take it off the books.
Exactly. No, they take that serious in jail.
Yeah.
Bookkeeping is very serious in jail.
Yeah. You'll get murdered
I heard
for
about
that.
Yeah.
You'll get murdered.
Probably in prison, but in jail, it depends on, like, I guess what jail you're at, but they can either fight you or they'll make your life miserable in jail. So don't gamble in jail what you can't lose. And yeah, I don't know. Yeah, just don't go to jail, really. Just don't go to jail.
Have you ever been in jail or what?
I'll share that experience when I come back. Yes.
That's for the next podcast.
How I went to jail.
Dude.
But and that's why when he brought up the point about, you know, my former guest canceled, so what I did was go on my phone and texted us. In life, you have to learn to adapt. You life will not be a smooth sailing. Like, you think of one thing is gonna happen and another thing. It's happened to me so many times. Or you go in with the plan like this has to work. There's no way it doesn't work. Gets shut down quick. You're like, fuck. So it's like, you got to learn how to adapt. That's, like, I say that's the number one trait for anybody trying to succeed in anything, is you got to learn how to adapt. Not everything is definitely not going to go your way. But then, you know, once you start taking more risks, start being more brave, going out and doing it, you're going to find that things are going to start going your way more often than not. So then that's what Xander did. He's like, you know what? I'm going to hit up Dan and Victor, and now we're having a fire show.
Yeah.
So
We are.
Yeah.
One way of adapting, I think, is finding balance. I know you brought up earlier, like, you don't want to work 90 hours a week if you want a family in the future, if you want to think about financials at the same time. Like, you still have to create a balance, because at the end of the day, when it comes to family, you can't just think about yourself at that point. And when I think about billionaires, I don't necessarily think a billionaire thinks just about money. Sometimes money-hungry billionaires do think that way, and that's the only way they think. But when I think about being a true billionaire, when it comes to being humble about the money you make and the way that you choose to live your life, it comes more from the fact that, okay, I'm achieving this and I am making money, but I'm doing it because of how I'm becoming a billionaire. It's not because I'm making money, it's because of how I choose to use that money, how I choose to invest in that money. And some people don't know how to find the balance. And with balance, I think, comes discernment. And discernment, when you think about like the meaning of discernment, it's like seeing things clearly, trying to, like, vet people out who might not think the same way, but you're trying to reach a collaborative mindset where you're trying to work together, but also you still know that you're not going to go off onto their path just because you don't think that way, but trying to work together at the same time.
And this goes back to what I was saying, like, if you don't have balance, it's what's about what do you want in life. Like, if you want to have a $1 million, billion-dollar company, you're going to have to sacrifice time with the family, which is why it goes back to, I'm going to try to start that now before I have kids but you do, you know, this might be a little bit off topic, but you do got to find somebody that is willing to say, you know what, Daniel, I understand you can't be at family dinners every night, but I see the vision with you. I see the impact you're creating, and I'm willing to sit back. You know, it just goes back to my dad. Like, there was times where he was deployed for years, and a year or two, and my mom had to deal with that because in the military you had to go to Korea, Afghanistan, Iraq. And that's what a lot of spouses had to deal with, was they had to realize, okay, well, I'm marrying somebody that is going to be out of the country for this amount of time, or is going to be out in the field for 2 weeks. Because some people, some spouses or even husbands, they can't deal with that. So, you know, that's why I said in your life, in your profession, you need to find what you're doing. You need to find somebody that understands where you're going. Because, you know, I think everything in life is I like to think everything in life is your fault, good or bad. It counts self accountability. So it's like, if you chose a person that wants to see you 24/7, but you're trying to pursue a business that requires 18 hours of your time and you can only sleep 6 hours, it's like, whose fault is that? Like, you got to decide what you want in life and you got to pursue it. So,
No, that's crazy that you say it, because it is true, man. You can't build an empire if you don't have like a queen next to you, you know, who's
Yes.
gonna be able to say, "Don't worry, I can tackle all this right now. We don't go. I know you're building something." Somebody who trusts you is really important. And honestly, I've been blessed because my lady is like that. Like,
It's great.
there's days where I don't text her. Like, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out. I'm like, hey, I'm out. I'm gonna go make work, and she understands. No, she knows we're working. So, nah, man, it's crazy. It's crazy to think that, you know, that one day you wake up and, I don't know, I feel like the mentality, once you lock it in, everything just like starts attracting, bro. It's like a magnet. I don't know if you felt that when you started your business and stuff, because you said you started at the beginning of January, right?
Yeah, like January 1st, because I had somebody say, yeah, I want you to make a website. I said, all right. And then I remember reading, I'm like, I like cash flow. So I'm like, how can I make this something sustainable on the side? So I'm like, okay, let me try these things. I'm like, okay, the only way I'm like, what's a unique way to obtain clients? Like, I really don't want to send emails. How many people actually read their emails? And working in IT, you know, when clients receive it, we see and we mark it as spam, so it's not even being seen. So I'm like, okay, I'm taking that. And then the phone calls, I'm like, okay, I'm calling from an out-of-state phone. I want to call these random people. Sometimes the owner's not available or they don't want to take a call. And I realized that sometimes being face-to-face, it's harder for people to say no, because they don't want to hear your reaction to that. So I was like, okay, let me start cold approach. Let me start going talk to people. I said, people usually they say something. So I went in. There's a business here. The owner is from the Middle East. He's from Palestine. I went in. I was like, hey, you know, is the owner here? He's like, let me go grab him. I'm like, hey, my name's Daniel. I saw you guys that have a website. You know, is that something you'd be interested in? He's like, let's go in the back. Start talking for an hour. And he's like, you know what, Daniel, you don't belong in Pueblo. I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, the fact that you just came in, approached, and you spoke well, and you had a business card, that's very powerful too, having a business card. He's like, you don't even belong here. And I'm like, what? And he's like, I'm just going to do it. I don't need it. I'm making a lot of money without it, but I'm going to do it anyway. And now he's a long-term client. He's even invited me out to his place in Arizona, and he's very insightful. So, you know, you never know who you're going to meet without going out and trying that. Like, that goes back to, if you're just in your house all day, you know, on the computer, getting things delivered, all that sort, you're never going to figure out who you can meet. You just never know. Now you and I are going to have this connection. So it's like, you just never know. And it goes back to like that conversation with the old man. I was like, man, I was saying back then, like, I remember this even like Hollywood Video, Blockbuster. It's like, it used to be a thing. You'd go out, go eat at McDonald's or whatever. Then you go get the movie, go get some snacks at the Loaf and Jug or something, and come back, watch it, and then return it. It was like a big family thing. Nowadays, you just Netflix. Here you go. And I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying, like, we've lost that like human element. Now it's becoming like more automated technology. I see it every day. I go talk to people, and they're like, they can't even talk. And that's why I said we have the advantage. That's why I said, I go in a place, I just know I could take it over quick, just because. And that's not even being egotistical. Like, that one girl was telling me at Brews Ale House, like, I'm being egotistical, but it's like, but then, you know what she said after? I was never worried about you, you know? And it's same thing. It's the same thing. It's like, I just know what I'm able to do, because even if I fail, it's like, okay, I know exactly where I missed the mark. I know exactly where I messed up, you know, and then I move on. You just bounce back from it.
Yeah. No, you're right. I think it all trickles down into like-minded people are going to connect. Small-minded people are going to stay where they're at unless they want to level up and grow in their life. And I'm a big believer in, you become the 5 people you surround yourself with most. And it's even better if you can find, there's so much that ties into that. If you can find 5 millionaires that surround yourself with, quality millionaires, you'll become the 5th one or the 6th one. If you surround yourself with people who are doing something in the field that you're pursuing and they know what they're doing, you're going to end up learning from them and being the 6th one to create that level of success for you. So I think it's important, the people you surround yourself with is going to make or break you. If you surround yourself with criminals, you're going to be the 6th criminal. If you surround yourself with people who just want to be happy in life, you're going to be happy in life. If you surround yourself with 5 millionaires, you're going to be the 6th. If you surround yourself with 5 billionaires, you're going to be the 6th. So your mindset plays a big role in life, but also like who you surround yourself with. And sometimes you got to burn the boats, man. I love that quote. That quote's so powerful.
If you're not going to carry the boats, then burn the boats.
That's a new one. I like that.
That's why I always advise people, like, always like, what's the first thing I should take to like get a mindset like yourself? I'm like, get a mentor, get somebody that you kind of want their life. Like, I remember one of my first ones, he had a nice Mercedes. I'm like, I should have asked him, hey, how did you get that? I had a huge connection till this day. And it's like, you need to have somebody that's been through it that can teach you the mindset to get to that point, and sometimes, the people around you, even your own family, have to be honest, like, if they're not living the life you want, you need to not love them from a distance and be like, okay, I love you, mom, I love you, dad, grandpa, all that, but you don't understand what I got going on. So it's time for me to go out and find somebody that's willing to, show you. But I will say, like, try to give value back. I like this saying, I was told value for value. That's kind of what my business model is as well. It's like, you're paying me, that's my value, and I'm going to give you value back by giving, online presence. And I think you should go in life thinking about that. You can't just keep taking, because you're never going to get back, because closed hands can never receive. I think that's in the Bible as well. You can't receive if you're not giving. So I think it's great that you get a mentor, get somebody that will help you, point you to the right track. But I think a good mentor would pick somebody that sees that they're actually trying to implement, because I've seen people, they take advice all day and they don't implement it, and then you just waste your breath. So that's kind of why I'm not too. I'm like, I'm not going to put you on, because you can't even keep a job. Your habits are not aligning to what you're saying. And, I'm just like, hey man, just stick with what you got going on. I'm going to come here and do a podcast. I'm going to go film a video Saturday. I'm going to go make a network connection, so that's just something to consider.
I mean, there's a lot of things. People, if you're going up to like a mentor or a successful entrepreneur and they see the ambition and the fire you have, they're gonna be attracted to that. I think people are attracted to it in general because it's different and it's a little crazy. But going up to someone you want to become and you want that kind of lifestyle, and you ask questions, because you're not going to know unless you ask questions. They're going to admire that or respect that. They might find you annoying. Fuck, I have annoyed the fuck out of these people.
Yeah.
But it got me where I'm at today. It got me to have a conversation in the same room with these people. So it's crazy. Ask questions. Just be that person that's not afraid. Go for it.
I know I'm camera girl on this podcast, but she had a good quote. Closed mouths don't get fed.
True. Very true.
That's a big one. That's something I learned this time, because asking for help, like, I posted a video and it kind of went viral, like, in the community, and I had people telling me straight up, like, yo, you can come pick this trailer up, like, I don't need it. And it's like, man, you bought that trailer for so much money and you're just willing to give it out just because you believe in the vision. I had people offer me cars that didn't work. I had people offer me to come work for free just because they like what I was doing. And it's crazy to see, because it's true. Like, if you're not out there asking for help, then you're just never going to grow. It gets to a point where, as a business owner, you realize, I can't do all of this by myself. And that's when growth happens. That's when phase 1 is completely done, and then you move on into phase 2, that is expansion. And I don't know, I believe that helping community is probably going to be the thing that we take most pride on, because that's the value of our company behind what we're trying to do. Like he said it, where there's value, money follows, and that's true. If you have, that's why roofers make so much money. That's why construction companies make so much money. The value's in there. You need a house, you need a roof to live. There's always gonna be money being made and stuff where there's value. So yeah, man, it's crazy. It's crazy. I'm hyped up right now. I'm hyped up. I'm really hyped up. I hope we keep this energy, because
purpose over profit. If you bring value to someone else, you're going to get value in return.
Yeah.
If I'm bringing value to Matt Smith in some way, shape, or form, he's going to bring value to me. If I'm bringing value to you by creating content for you or Daniel or Gray's Cray, shout out Tyler, I'm going to get value in return. It's either through experience or through monetizational value. I'd be a fool if I said I didn't want monetizational value, because I'm at a point where I'm like, I can get paid for this shit now.
Yeah.
I'm like, I built up the skill set and I worked my ass off to get to a point where I can fucking work a camera and I can get paid for this shit now. But also, I got to bring value to you. So this isn't just like a one-way street. This is a two-way street right here. Yeah. Like, we're both leveling up. We rise together. I bring value to you. You bring value to me. So it's a great philosophy to look at and actually think, well, if the psychology of making money, what does it really come down to? Does it come down to how much money you're putting into something? Sure. Does it come down to the numbers? Sure. But it also comes down to the work. And what kind of value are you bringing to the table? What kind of value are you getting in return? You find a skill that you've been working on long enough, and you know this, you've learned different skills. He knows this. He went to school for IT, but you ended up finding something. You're like, well, I've been doing this for a while. I went to school for this. Well, I've been doing this for, 10 months now. Okay, dial in, figure out how you can turn your purpose into profit, bring value to other people. And that's what a lot of these people say too. A lot of these successful entrepreneurs are like, dude, find something, anything you like, you're good at, or you're just, you have the skill set for. Find a skill, find the demand for that skill, and seize the opportunity. We're living in a world where AI, IT, these fucking guys, podcasting, the internet, it's just at a prime, and it's not going anywhere. And people would be fools if they said it was going to go extinct. Maybe we'll hit a cyberpunk era where we got chips, or, we have fucking T100s. I don't know. But the internet in general is not going anywhere. And there's so much opportunity through the internet that you can make a profit off of, but you just got to know how to. People think, let me think of the next get-rich-quick scheme. Dropshipping, Shopify, cool, yeah, but you still got to put your time and work into learning how Shopify works, how dropshipping works, how all this works. Because if you're just doing it to get rich and fucking make millions of dollars, that's not how it works. If you're like, oh shit, well, you just picked up a camera one day because you thought photography was fun. And then over time, you're like, oh shit, well, I'm going to start a podcast because I've always loved conversation and I love podcasting. And you're like, oh shit, well, now I'm in the creative production because I got to record, I got to produce, I got to edit, I got to manage, I got to do all this shit. It's 5 fucking skills right there I am acquiring within my tool belt that I can see as an opportunity on any single one of those to make money. So that's just like my personal experience and story. But you guys relate in your own way because, again, Victor, you have done a lot of manual labor in different forms within your life. You just figured out, wow, well, this is pretty simple. I got a truck. Let me see if I can fucking make this happen. Daniel, going to school for IT, and then you're learning all the fucking systems on the front end and back end, but you're like, well, how can I make this work for me? Well, social media is not going anywhere. I want to be able to work from home anywhere. I know how to make a website. I know how to do all this. Let me just do this. Let me try it out. And then boom, fucking 2 months later, 6 months later, the first fucking dollar bill comes rolling in. And you're like, holy shit. I made my first dollar off of YouTube. I was like, fuck.
Well, yeah, how was that? When was that, bro? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, you got to be monetized on YouTube. You got to reach 400 subscribers, I think they lowered it to. You gotta hit a certain amount of views on YouTube, and then you can be monetized for short form and long form content. And it's not much, but it's based off how many views you get per video on the shorts and the long form content. So it wasn't much, it took 6 months to get there, and then now I'm sitting at $5. But now, I know, fuck yeah, I'm in a position to where it's like, I want to monetize this. This will be the business model. I want to be monetized on all social medias. You got to hit a certain number for each social media, but I know how to work a camera, and content creation is such a demand. And all these people and all these businesses, they would be a fool if they didn't utilize social media or content creation. That's why I was preaching to you, Victor. Your first or second video you posted got 7,000 views on Facebook. That's not fucking normal. A little bit of luck.
Yeah. It was
I mean,
a lot of luck.
But if that is implemented consistently, that's another source of income right there.
No, I seen it.
Because all these people who are doing the same shit you're doing, they're just posting consistently on social media, are now making another source of revenue through social media and all these platforms. Because you got to think about it. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Well, Instagram and Facebook are, meta, so it's connected. But you still got to hit a certain amount of numbers on both platforms to be monetized. TikTok, and that's just 4 right there that have certain metrics you need to meet to be monetized in. But those are 4 different platforms you can make money from just by posting content consistently. And all these people doing the same thing you're doing are doing it, and they're getting 40,000 views on TikTok, on Facebook, and you're like, fuck, that looks sick. They're just like cleaning driveways with this power washer. No fucking way. What? Boom. People watch it. And then same with social media. People are going to need someone to manage their social media account. Business owners should be business owners. They should not be managing their social media. They should not be running their website. They should not be running marketing. They should be working on the business and how to grow it. They should have a team to grow the other stuff, social media, market for them, the website for them.
Yeah.
A lot of these businesses are doing it on their own. So, Cece, what are you doing? She's attacking the paper. So it would be any business owner or anybody getting into business would be a fool to not utilize social media in general. It's going to take so much work and consistency, but eventually you're going to reach a point where it's like, all right, well, now I got Victor on my payroll. He's managing my social media account and the posting schedule. Now I have Daniel on my payroll. He's managing the website. Now I have Shirley Banks on my payroll. He's managing the editing of my videos. Now I have, 5 people under me that I'm paying to manage stuff that takes all the workload off of me, and I can just sit down and have a conversation with people. I have a manager who, manages the people, schedules everything. I have the editor. I have the social media person. I have everything. All the recipes for ingredients are there. I'm the chef. We're cooking up something fucking fire. I'm making money. They're making money. The more money I make, the more money they make. The more we grow, the more money I make, the more money they make. So it's a win-win. It goes back to they're providing value for me, but I'm providing value for them. Very long rant.
Value for value.
But
yeah.
Value for value, homie.
Amen, man. Because that's the same thing with me, man. Eventually, I don't want to be cold approaching businesses forever. I'm just hey, you come to me. If you see the value, you see the value. If you don't, you don't. But in the beginning, you do gotta put yourself out there, and then eventually, like you said, you're not gonna be editing the videos no more. You're not gonna be. There's gonna be people coming up to you. Hey, Xander, may I come on your podcast? It's gonna be that point, just like Joe Rogan. Or hey, are you available to clean the yard? I know you're busy. You're booked. You may have your recurring clients that are priority. The new clients are harder. You might have to vet them out. Is it even worth? Is it doing a $40 job worth it to you compared to doing a $300 job? So, but it all starts from that small, taking anything you can, go into any business, then eventually you just, you know, skyrocket. So,
Yeah. I like to end the show
yeah.
with one piece of advice you would give to the listener watching. Victor, start him off.
One piece of advice.
One piece of advice.
Let me just think. I'm 17 again, and I look at myself, and I'm like, damn, bro, how did you do it, bro? I'm going to say, be delusional. That's your advice. Like, if you believe in something so much to the point where you can't go to sleep, just try it, man. What's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to wake up and waste, what, a year at most? Would you rather waste a year, or would you rather live in regret for 40 or 50? So I say that, just don't be scared and try everything and keep on trying. So until you find whatever you're really passionate about. Because, dude, I did so many things, bro. The first millionaire I met, just so you guys know, he was a scammer, bro. He's scamming, like, out of, like, legal services, having a whole pyramid scheme of kids who, like, sell to old people. And, like,
That's
dude,
sweet.
like, bro, like, that's when I realized, I'm like, I don't want to be that. I want to create something, you know, that it's valuable. So, again, just keep it short. Believe in yourself, be delusional, and don't give up, bro. Because if you do, then you're a bitch. No, I'm just kidding. No, you're just going to regret it, bro. You're really going to regret it. You'd rather live with, like I said, wasting the time or regret. Choose.
Truth.
No, they're a bitch.
Yeah,
They're a bitch if
you're
they don't
a
do
bitch,
it.
bro.
Yeah.
You're a
So,
bitch.
so I this guy told me the other day, he's like, Daniel. I'm like, yo, he's like, what is one thing everybody had in common in the graveyard? I'm like, what? He said they all thought they had tomorrow guaranteed. And that stuck with me this past week. And I'm like, man, like, it goes back to what he said. You don't want to live with regrets. So it's like, I'm going to go after everything I want in this life, whether it's favorable to me or not. And at least if I do end up in the graveyard at 55, 65, 35, whatever it may be, I can lay and be like, you know what? I did exactly what I needed to do with the time I was given to me. And I moved on, because I've known a lot of people on both ends where they love life. They're happy. They're, you know, in their 90s, really happy in life, because they may not be rich, but they knew they made an impact. They did exactly what they wanted to do in life. Then I met the other side, where there's people that absolutely hated their life. And, you know, real quick on a side note, it goes back to, I realized with those two perspectives and those two ages and those people, I realized, like, life's actually pretty long. Like, you know, it seems short to people that waste it, that don't do what they want to do in life. But, you know, think about it, like, you know, you never know when you're going to end, but if you're in your 80s, 90s, it's kind of a long time, man. So that's why I said, like, at the end of the day, like, there's really no excuse to not at least achieve some sort of impact in your life, whether that's for your kids, for your family, for yourself. So that's what I would say is, please don't waste time, because everybody in that graveyard, just go to a graveyard one day and just see how many people are there, and then ask yourself, did they achieve their goals? You know, Did you, the family that you have before you, did they achieve their goals? Did you make an impact on them when you were here, on people that came to you? So that'd be my advice.
Behind the camera.
You go first.
In this house, we do second chances. We do real. We do grace. We do mistakes. No, I'm just reading this this board right here. Man.
Not camera girl, but camera girl's friend. She said YOLO.
YOLO, there's a mic. You can grab that mic and talk into it. Okay. I like YOLO, but it's short, but I think it gets the message across. You know, depending on the person who you want to hit, but it's good. It's good to live by. You do only live once. Oh man, what?
Do we though?
Short and sweet.
Do we?
Short and sweet.
Do we?
Do we only live once?
Do we, Xander?
Do we?
I don't know. With the age of AI and all the different universes and planets out there, who knows if there's reincarnation? That's a podcast for another day. Probably we don't only live once. We get reincarnated in some way, shape, or form. Who knows? Who knows what we would be
You're supposed to know.
reincarnated as?
Just got
I don't.
roasted. Should have left it as like an Instagram note.
That's what they were basically saying. Just summarized it.
No, I didn't roast her. I said that is short and sweet.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's true.
It's a good phrase that hits, you know.
It's a short-lived life.
Yeah, exactly. You
So
only
it
live
depends-
once.
It depends on how you live it.
It depends on how you live it, is what I'm getting at.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I got what she was saying.
I mean, I got what you were saying too. My mind is going back to this one. Hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. And weak men create hard times. As a man, that hits. Because you can wake up every day with your head stuck in a hole, or you can wake up and think today's going to be another day in paradise. Some people may say you don't have the power to control your attitude. I disagree. I think you ultimately are in control of how you react to things and how you control how you feel throughout the day. We're going to go through tough times and experiences throughout the day that are going to make us hit our head in a wall and question why we're doing what we're doing, whether it be a simple fight, an argument, work, all the above. But hard times create not only strong men, but strong people in general, because it can either make or break you. If you let it break you, let it be a learning lesson. Learn from it. Don't just dwell on the hard times, because if you dwell on it, where's that going to get you? It's not going to get you anywhere. But if you learn from it, it's going to make you stronger, wiser. You're going to have the experience to look back on and be like, wow, this patient fucking got in my face and yelled at me, tried to tell me how to do my job, and was on drugs. And I could have totally lashed out, but I kept my composure. I was cool, and I tried to solve the situation. That's a sticky situation to be in. But to sum it up, it'll make or break you. I don't think you should allow it to break you. I think you should take it as a learning lesson and grow into a stronger person. Camera girl.
My family tells me this all the time. If you're gonna be stupid, you gotta be tough. And I don't take it exactly the way they say it. I just think about taking risks, and whether you're intentional with good intentions, bad intentions, just know that the way that you perceive things and the way you choose to react towards them, as long as your intentions are good, and whether it fails or it doesn't, that's how life works, and you gotta keep pushing through. So
Very solid. This podcast was awesome. I appreciate everybody for coming and joining this discussion. Daniel, Victor, where can they find you on social media? Let's put people on. Let's tap into it, because we're gonna change the world. We're gonna change the community of Pueblo. We're gonna change Austin. But it all starts with us letting them know how they can find the change that's gonna happen. So Victor, I'll have you just take it away. Take the reins first.
All right, guys. You guys can find me on all social medias like Victor Pueblo Junk Heroes, Pueblo Junk Heroes for my official business page. If you guys have any junk removal needs, not only junk, when I say junk, I mean any cleanup needs, we're a specialized crew that we like to go out there, find a personalized solution for you, and make it all hassle-free. At the end of the day, we provide dump pictures, because we do take pride in dumping of everything correctly. And I'm building right now and creating a recycling center so we can, start getting some stuff out of our landfill, because we're throwing too much stuff, man. We could be helping the community. But yes, sir, that's it. I appreciate you, Xander, again. Pueblo Junk Heroes. Thank you.
Reduce, reuse, and recycle.
recycle.
Oh, that was, hey, Jinx, baby. Shit. Daniel.
Yeah, so you can find my business page at all social medias at Golden Age Digital Marketing. It should be the first one. We're the only one with that name. Shout out to me claiming that. And me and Xander got a great skit coming out here in the next week. It's going to be for Grace Pueblo. Shout out Tyler, really good business owner in this town. and it's going to be great. It's going to blow up. And, you know, this is the type of stuff I do: website, content creation, social media management. So if you know anybody, and this is why I love this business, could be literally anybody. And my thing is to business owners that are not utilizing that is you're missing out on a lot of free publicity. So please,
Missing out on money.
reach out. You know, I am pretty reasonable and I'm a pretty good guy to talk to. So thank you again for letting me back on. Hopefully next time you see me, I'll have more stories to tell you from Texas, and hopefully I can get us on there. So
yeah, of course. No, you guys are always welcome back on. And be smart. Find partner with people. If they have a skill that maybe you know or don't know, but it'd be easier just to partner with them and just do business that way. Be smart. Be a smart businessman. Get like-minded people in a room. Get the people who, when you talk to other people and they say you're fucking crazy for putting these people in a room or talking to these people, and you get them in the same room, do it, because then it's going to create these opportunities, and it's like a snowball effect. Once you get it going, it's just going to trickle down and create this big snowball, and then you see the success, because it's not a matter of if it works, it's a matter of when and how do we look at the metrics and figure out what the numbers look like and how it makes sense. So Gray's Craze, we have something craze coming to Tyler. And it's gonna be awesome to see how much value we can provide to them in a short period of time, and how much value we can provide to each other in a short period of time, just by thinking of an idea, coming up with a plan, and putting that plan into action within less than 72 hours. That's crazy. It's crazy when you talk to someone from the outside looking in. But when me, him, and Victor talk about it, it doesn't sound crazy. It sounds doable. So do the impossible when people think it's impossible. Because if you believe it's possible, anything's possible, right? That is another piece of advice I would give. But this has been the All In show, and we went all in. You know, I like to go into raw conversation, get down into deep discussion, and just go all in. And it could be different topics. It can be life experiences. It can be crazy topics, cyberpunk, Mike Wazowski's girlfriend, if she's attractive or not. It could be it can be getting a DUI and learning from that experience from jail. You know, just going all in discussion, because it's fun to go all in, but it's important to ask questions from people you're trying to learn from, and they go all in on that discussion. So
I just have one question. Did you drop the soap?
they actually had a curtain, so it wasn't.
So you dropped it still.
Nobody saw.
Yeah,
Nobody saw.
saw.
Nobody saw. Nobody saw.
Doesn't count. Okay.
Doesn't count. It's not prison where you have like one stall and then it's just cut off at waist level, and then another stall. They actually had like individual like little showers, and you had a curtain that separates you. And yeah, they give you like just this. It wasn't even a bar of soap. It was just like like fucking body wash. It was just like this big. And it was like, you get that much for the week. And I was like,
For the week?
wow. Thankfully, I was only in there for 10 days. That's all I needed. Just shower like twice throughout the week. I'm okay.
Damn.
Bro.
How big was it after you used it?
Oh, the soap?
Yeah.
Did you lose it somewhere?
It wasn't a bar of soap. It was just like a little tiny bottle of soap, like that big. Yeah. After 2 showers, it was gone.
What happened to the bottle?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I think I threw it away. I don't
They have a
remember.
trash can in the bathroom?
They do.
Okay.
You know, sometimes trauma makes you forget things, you know? Trauma makes you forget
I was going to say, you remember
things.
this place very well. Like,
Yeah.
every detail. You remember exactly where the curtain, the measurements.
Yeah.
You remember there's a trash can in the corner that you threw away the bottle?
Trauma has a way of
Making
itself known. And it was a very traumatic experience. And I do not want to ever go back to jail, so I need to take the corrective actions now to not go back to jail.
Leave it at that, bro.
Yeah. I don't, yeah, that's another story to go all in on. But Yeah.